We like taught in history class, we're not taught this sort of like history. It's always from the book. But like as a senior at David Douglas High School, I'm taking AP Government, and then they don't ever mention, like whenever we read or study the Constitution, it's always like, oh, they're always assuming that the power is with Congress, as in like in the movie it shows that the president has way more power.
A lot of people think, and it's true, that the president has executive power, okay? But the people's government is Congress. And so the president always liked to work with Congress to get things done so he doesn't have to do things executively. Because when he does things executively, the next president that is elected after him can come along and wash it away.
Because when voting is, we're in school, and how are we supposed to vote, or we're supposed to be learning, and kind of like, is there a strategy?
Well, usually the voting was on the what is it, the first Tuesday of November. But now Oregon has this thing called vote by mail. So they send out the ballots 3 weeks ahead of time. So you have 3 weeks to vote. It gives you 3 weeks, but you know this is going to come up every 2 and every 4 years. So we all have to pay attention to the news, and we have to pay attention to who's on the ballot, look them up. You got 3 weeks.
We have a big population here, and like not just like here in Portland, but overall nationwide, of people, young people who are devoted to their community, participating in activities such as the Youth Commission or other related activities, and because of their citizenship, they're not allowed to vote. So, like, that is a barrier between that too. So no matter how much a youth wants to or has 3 weeks to vote, to mail in the ballot, like there's still that barrier.
You're talking about the difference between what you're really talking about is immigration reform.
Yes, but it ties into that.
It totally ties into it.
Instead of order of Obama got blocked, so that's kind of like, so now they can't even, it's just like the whole system is crap.
So that's very similar to what's going on in the movie, because President Obama, and I think Senator Carter said it right, you want to go through Congress and not just have your president write executive order, because
Ferguson and stuff like that, and like all this extra stuff that's going on.
You know, I'll tell you something. This goes back to my responsibility to you. I have zero tolerance for that. We have a very effective system in the sheriff's office that if somebody violates our policies and practices, they're investigated. If it's found that it rose to a level of a crime, they're charged with a crime and they're suspended. If not, they're disciplined internally by the loss of duty time and pay.